Welcome to another edition of International Soccer Break. I'm your host, Sahil. I'm here with Ishana and Rahi, and we have reached the Women's World Cup final. The semifinals were excellent. I know we all kind of were hoping for the host to get it done, but nevertheless, it's Spain and England in the final.
Yeah, we've ended up exactly where we thought we might end up with two of the favorites from the very beginning. But what incredible semifinals. I mean, I'm sad because I was really rooting for Australia. And when Sam Kerr scored that goal, I was by myself in my apartment at whatever, 7 a.m. And I just went crazy because that goal was insane in that moment for that player to score that goal. Incredible. And you know what? I was just in an Uber in Miami, by the way, and my Uber driver just told me the same thing, that he was in his house, everyone else was asleep, and he watched that Sam Kerr goal live, and he erupted, woke his entire house up. So I think everyone had the same feeling, especially if you're Australian, right?
Yeah, I mean, I am a little biased because I did live in Australia. I lived in Melbourne, and so obviously I was going hard for them, but I lived in Melbourne and seeing that footage in the CBD of everyone just going absolutely insane was so awesome. It was one of the most watched sporting events in Australia. The viewership was amazing, and I think that's just such a great symbol and hopefully showing the future of women's soccer. I think it was a great moment for everybody. And the fact that everybody resonated with this goal I'm just so pleased with it. She couldn't unfortunately sink that last one when she had that chance. And I do think that's because she hasn't been completely fit this tournament. I mean, she's barely trained coming off of this injury, and despite that, she played the full 90 minutes. I mean, I just think that they gave it their all. And unfortunately, England was the better team that day.
Yeah, and they were the better team, and they took advantage of Australia's mistakes. And funnily enough, they just by being solid, they're here in the final, and they look a very dangerous team. On the other side, you have the Spanish team who has been up and down, lost to Japan, but here they are as well, a team that's full of disaster, full of just chaos around the team entirely. But here they are. It's an interesting final.
Yeah, so very interesting final from that perspective. I think now the question becomes, obviously the question that's on everyone's mind is, in the final that's happening early tomorrow morning, who wins this? Who wins it? Because there's a lot of interesting battles going on. I think for both of you, what do you think is the key matchup within the game?
I think Spain, the star of Spain is obviously Paraguay, and she is just so much fun to watch. I mean, she started in the games in the group stage, and then she was subbed in later games, and every single time she's put on in these knockout rounds, she has delivered, and she's kind of their secret weapon, in my opinion.
What the coach is doing that's kind of interesting is I think he's basically bringing her in now. He's found that, like, against tired defenders, she's a real threat.
Yeah, I think
Well,
I think he does the
she
same
she
thing.
was a she was a world class sprinter, so she's very fast. Having tired defenders is just a really good tactical move. Something that Vladko would not have done. He would have waited until the 90th minute to bring her in or something.
I mean, I think it's a very interesting matchup because I think you really have two opposite styles and opposite teams in so many ways. This England team has been compact, has been organized, has been clinical. Everything about this team is everyone knows their role. Everything about this team is organized, is tight, is controlled. They take advantage of mistakes. The Spanish team is entirely the opposite. Chaos with players resigning, chaos with a coach who nobody really likes, chaos with players in and out of the team. They lose games to, like, lost a game to Japan big. They come back, a great performance against the Netherlands. It's very inconsistent. This is sort of the beautiful chaos of Spain versus the clinical organization and really incisiveness of the English. It's a very interesting matchup because at their high, the Spanish can beat anyone. But the English team has been consistently good, and maybe that wins out.
It's interesting you say that though, because for example, a young player like Paraguelo, in comparison to someone like Sophia Smith or Linda Casado, these young rising stars, something that she does, I think, really well is she does not dribble too much. And, she's she's super clinical, but I mean, even that one that she hit back to Redondo, was it, who almost got that ball in? I mean, she knows when to let go of the ball, and I think that's something that does come with, uh, more structure and less chaos.
And can we talk
Yeah.
real quick about Serena Wegman? Just incredible coach, an incredible coach that now has taken the Netherlands to the final, Netherlands to a European championship, now taking England to a European championship and England to a final. She's the exact opposite of Vlatko Andonovski, right? Just successful.
So now in terms of let's get to the actual final here in terms of who do we want to win, all these sort of things. As Americans, there's the whole it's coming home. It's been coming home for the last, whatever, 60, 70, 80 years or what have you. And we're just all kind of tired of that, whether it's men's or women's. But is it okay to root from Spain? Because Spain has had a lot of controversy, especially surrounding the coach and the way he treats some of the players and how the federation has dealt with those complaints. So my onside offside topic of the day is it okay to root for Spain?
Oh, this this is a tough one for me. I always kind of go by the anyone but England thing as an
Yeah.
American.
Yeah.
And oh God, Australia, why did you have to put me in this position? Now I have to, support a federation that dismissed these players' complaints of emotional abuse about the coach. And, you can see it after the game. None of the players were celebrating with him. And that just is telling of, how it's been sort of riddled with issues. But
But you're not supporting the federation, you're supporting the players.
I do. That was my point. So I am going to say that at the end of the day, these players are, while he has made great tactical choices, and I think it was, I don't know if it was the president of the federation at the end of the game who sort of held his hands up and
Yeah, it was like
was like,
Darth
see,
Vader and the Emperor together at
yeah,
the end. Yeah.
exactly. And but at the end of the day, yes, these players deserve it. And it's nice to just know that we're gonna have a team who's never won the Women's World Cup before win. And unfortunately and fortunately, I'm going to go for Spain. So think it's okay, and I'm on side.
Yeah, I'm on side here as well. But I first do want to say that it is not normal for effectively an entire team to mutiny against a coach. Something seriously wrong has to have happened. It's not like, think about any organization. This doesn't happen often where a leader, the entire team or the entire group is mutinying against a leader for how they are being treated. This is not normal. And it signals, I think, some serious problems in the federation and clearly with the coach. That being said, this is about the players, right? Ultimately, the players on the field are the ones who make the difference. The players on the field are the ones who are going to win it for Spain or win it for England. And these are the people that you're rooting for or rooting against. And when they score, you jump up. When Sam Kerr scored that goal, the entire Australian populace, you know, erupted in uniform, right? That is what this is about. It's about the players. It's about the moment for this team. And yeah, you might say if they win, then the coach gets plaudits as well. Fine. That's part of the process, unfortunately. But the players, the ones who are going to deserve the credit, they're going to be the ones holding up that trophy if they win. And they're the ones that deserve all the praise. So, yes, absolutely, it's okay to root for Spain. Absolutely, it's okay to root against England. Absolutely, it's okay to hope that football is not coming home because I don't want it ever to come home. It's left. It's
Yeah.
gone. It's everywhere else but home.
I also I also think to your point, players don't necessarily reflect their federation, and they shouldn't, and that shouldn't be the case. And so, there's that too.
I mean, we were
Yeah.
rooting for the U.S. in spite of Vlatko Andonovski. Different comparison, but he's not a good coach, right?
So
Yeah.
you're both on side. I as well am on side for this. I think at the end of the day, yes, it is the players, and despite everything that they've been through, it's for the nation. Someone put it um, very well. I believe it was old German Bayern Munich coach said, national teams belong to all of us, and I think all Spanish, citizens out there and all fans and residents of the country and anyone who has an affinity toward Spain. I think it's only fair on them that regardless of the federation, they could root for them. So I'm on side for this. And also, as you both have said, and I'm going to say it out loud, I don't want football to come home. I also don't want football to come home. We'll never hear the end of that if that happens. Anyhow, should be an exciting final tonight. It's been a great tournament. Everyone keep watching the beautiful game and watch the Women's World Cup final.
Vamos La Roja.